Samsung's Galaxy S26 Ultra has just leaked in detail, and if you thought the Galaxy S25 Ultra was the ultimate Android powerhouse, then you need to pay attention, because the Galaxy S26 Ultra is coming in larger, bolder, and with noticeably rounder design that is stirring up massive conversations online. Thanks once again to the trusted leaker UniverseIce, who have provided not just numbers, but also mock-ups that compare the Galaxy S26 Ultra directly with its predecessor. And here's what we now know. The Galaxy S26 Ultra will measure around 163.4 millimeters in height and 77.9 millimeters in width, making it just slightly taller and wider than the Galaxy S25 Ultra, which stood at 162.8 millimeters tall and 77.6 millimeters wide. And while on paper those differences may sound minimal, the real visual change comes in the corners, because Samsung is moving away from its sharp and squared-off edges to a much rounder design, making the Galaxy S26 Ultra look more iPhone-like than ever before. And yes, this confirms earlier leaks that hinted at Samsung softening the look of its Ultra flagship. But now we have dimensions and visuals to back it up. And from the mock-up shared, the corners are not as aggressively rounded as Apple's iPhone 16 Pro Max, but they're certainly far more curved than the Galaxy S25 Ultra, giving the phone a refreshed identity and a more comfortable hand feel. And if you've ever held the S25 Ultra, you know those sharp corners could sometimes dig into your palm. So this design tweak may actually improve ergonomics without changing the iconic large screen presence that the Ultra lineup is known for. And while the dimensions remain nearly the same, rumors strongly suggest that Samsung is focusing on making the Galaxy S26 Ultra thinner, which is a bold move considering the device will still pack massive cameras, a huge battery, and all the premium hardware we've come to expect. And this is where things get even more interesting because, according to whispers, Samsung is preparing to radically redesign the rear camera layout, potentially shifting away from the vertical floating lens design of recent Ultras to something new that will allow for more advanced sensors, while keeping the chassis slimmer. And this would be in line with what Oppo and Vivo have been experimenting with in their flagships, making Samsung's design language evolve in a way that balances aesthetics with performance. Now, some people may ask, does a slight change in dimensions really matter? And the answer is yes, because when you're competing with Apple and other Android rivals, even tiny refinements in design can influence consumer perception, and Samsung clearly wants the S26 Ultra to feel fresh, modern, and less boxy, appealing to users who may have considered the S25 Ultra too industrial looking. So this softer, rounder, more elegant profile could broaden its appeal without sacrificing its identity as a productivity-focused powerhouse with the S Pen built right in. And speaking of the display, while the leaks today focus on the size and dimensions, industry insiders believe Samsung will once again push its AMOLED technology to new heights, possibly with even higher brightness levels, better HDR tuning, and of course the adaptive 120Hz refresh rate that makes everything buttery smooth. So imagine pairing that with slimmer bezels and rounder edges. The Galaxy S26 Ultra could feel more immersive than ever when watching videos, gaming, or simply browsing. And when it comes to performance, you can bet this device will carry Qualcomm's next-generation Snapdragon flagship chipset in most markets, delivering not just raw speed, but also AI-powered optimizations, more efficient power usage, and console-level gaming performance. And combined with LPDDR5X RAM and UFS 4.0 storage, the Galaxy S26 Ultra will have no trouble competing against any rival in 2025. But perhaps the most exciting part is the camera rumors, because Samsung knows the Ultra branding is synonymous with unmatched photography and videography, and the S26 Ultra is expected to raise the bar once again, with whispers of upgraded periscope zoom, larger sensors, and possibly even new AI-assisted photography modes. And if the back redesign happens, it will likely be for accommodating better hardware while still trimming down thickness, which is exactly the kind of engineering mastery Samsung has become known for. So while the Galaxy S25 Ultra set a high bar in 2024, the Galaxy S26 Ultra seems ready to refine, redesign, and reposition Samsung's most premium device to make it even more competitive against Apple's upcoming iPhone 17 Pro Max and Chinese flagships from Oppo, Vivo, and Xiaomi. And to sum it all up, What we're looking at is a smartphone that keeps the massive immersive screen and productivity DNA of the Ultra series, but introduces subtle yet impactful changes to make it feel new again, such as a slightly larger size, more rounded corners for better comfort, rumors of a thinner body, and the possibility of a completely reimagined camera layout. So if you were hoping for a massive size overhaul, you may be disappointed. But if you wanted Samsung to refine the design language and make the Ultra feel sleeker while still packing top-tier hardware, then the Galaxy S26 Ultra is shaping up to be exactly that, a more refined beast that blends the best of Samsung engineering with a design that appeals to a wider audience. And as always, we'll be keeping you updated with every new leak, render, and confirmation as the official launch gets closer. So make sure you subscribe and stay tuned because this story is only just beginning. And as always, this is TechVerse, bringing you the latest and greatest updates from the world of technology.